I am back for another edition of SSPT's Game Day Analysis. This time I'm going to check out the 69 kilo clash from the 2023 European Powerlifting Championships in Tartu, Estonia. This one features a rematch from three women who battled out in Malta at Classic Worlds. And I can tell you this is going to come down to the very last deadlift. These women are exceptionally strong. They execute at an extraordinarily high level, and it is lots of fun to watch. As usual, if you're interested in learning more about how I do things and SSPT does all things game day coaching, check out the link below to my game day coaching manual. Meanwhile, sit back, relax, enjoy the analysis, like, comment, share the video, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Okay, let's take a look at our scouting report for the 69 kilo class. First up, we've got Norwegian Marte Kjenner. If you take a look at her lifetime PBs and her best total at 542.5 kilos, she is within striking distance of the open world record total. She's a very consistent lifter. She took the silver medal in Malta, and she's reliable. She's going to make most of her lifts. There is a good chance with her bench press that she might be able to use a chip on her third attempt for the European record. You also notice by taking a look at her open powerlifting that she typically makes big deadlift jumps from the first to her second attempt and then kind of just sees what she needs and goes small from second to third. In second place, based on nominations, we've got Clara Peyraud from France. She is a junior lifter. She placed bronze in Malta, right behind Marte. Of course, Leah Bavois won, but Clara was able to pull into third place and secure the bronze medal in Malta on deadlift. She is very consistent, routinely makes 8 or 9 lifts. She has an opportunity to use a chip in the deadlift. It might be within her capability to hit a junior world record. You know, she favors smaller jumps in the squat and bench press, which is kind of interesting. And then in the deadlift, she will take those more traditional jumps that are commensurate with her strength level. Last, but certainly not least, we've got Annie Nelson from Great Britain. She placed 8th in Malta, so kind of out of the mix, if you will, but she comes into the European Championships here with a lot of momentum, put together some phenomenal training, and as you see, her totals significantly behind Marte and Clara. I can assure you that she's made significant progress, and basically out of these three lifters has the most room for growth. She doesn't have a chip advantage in any discipline. She does favor taking bigger jumps in the squat and deadlift, but really kind of small jumps in the bench press. But this really sets up for an exciting competition. And now let's go ahead and dive in to our prognosis on openers. Okay, taking a look at our forecast total. That's the prognosis based on opening attempts. This is going to be a very tight race to secure the largest total. You'll notice that only 10 kilos separate these three women from first through third place. Each one of these competitors possesses high-level strength in a specific discipline. You'll notice Annie Nelson of Great Britain. She is the strongest squatter, hence opening last, while Marte seems to be the best bench presser with a 120 opener, and as I said, a possibility of using a chip there on a European bench press record, while Clara will be the last deadlifter with a 215 kilo opener. Therefore, the fact that Clara has the lowest lot number is really not going to come into play for her because presumably she's going to be pulling last. She also has the lightest body weight, which means, of course, at the end of the competition, she can tie to move up a placing or potentially win. Whereas Annie from Great Britain, being the heaviest of the three women, is going to have to secure the highest total. She is going to have to outlift Marte and Clara if she wants to secure the W. But suffice it to say, this is going to be a tight race. It's going to come down to execution, attempt selection, and going to be just an incredible battle to watch. So without any further ado, let's dive into the squats. Okay, we've got Clara Peyraud taking her opening squat at 172.5 kilos. That's 380 pounds for her opening attempt. And very nice. She makes quick work of that. Looks like a comfortable squat and gets 3 white lights. Moving on to Marte Kjenner from Norway. She is on her opener at 180 kilos, which is 396 pounds. Fast descent, fast rise. Looking very good. 3 white lights on that lift. And now we've got last but certainly not least, Great Britain's Annie Nelson coming in with a 182.5 kilo squat. That is 402 pounds for her first attempt. Super deep and very easy. Great looking opener there. Moving into the second round of squats, we've got Clara. Looks like she bumped up to 180 kilos for her second attempt. That's 396 pounds. Clara is coached by her brother, Nicolas. That is the French national team coach right there. But her brother, Nicolas Peyraud, works for the strength guys, TSG, under Jason Tremblay. And Clara goes ahead, struggles a little bit more on that one. You notice her knees come in and basically touch, but that's okay. It's a good lift. And she's 2 for 2. Now we've got Marte coming out for her second attempt. And she took a 10 kilo jump. That's 190 kilos or 418 pounds. Again, has that aggressive style, nice and deep, and that looks like a good lift. She is 2 for 2. And finally, Great Britain's Annie Nelson took a big jump, 12.5 kilos, about a 27 pound jump there to 195 kilos for her second attempt. This is 429 pounds. This will be a competition PB for Annie if she gets this. Quick descent, nice and deep, and yep, that looks comfortable. Struggled a little bit, but still a solid second attempt. I suspect she'll jump about 5. We've got Clara. She took a very small jump from her second to her third. We saw her second one was a little bit sticky on 180. So now she's bumped up 2.5 kilos to 182.5. So this will be 402 pounds for Clara's final squat. She's got kind of that pre-hinge, nice and deep. Yeah, struggling there. And that was a really good attempt call for her third attempt. So that was all she had, 182.5. So she is 3 for 3 in the squat series. We've got Marte, who jumped up an additional 5 kilos from her second to her third. So this is 195 kilos or 429 pounds. She's got that aggressive setup and aggressive walkout. She's all set. Takes it down and comes up, and at first blush, that looks like a good lift to me, but she gets 3 reds, 2 on depth and 1 yellow. So she did not secure her third squat. Annie Nelson comes out for her third and final squat. She is the biggest squatter, strongest squatter in this flight. She is on 200 kilos or 440 pounds. This will beat the PB that she just set on her second attempt. And I think 5 kilos is a good quality jump based on how 195 looked. Nice and deep, very convincing, and that was the number. That was a really good attempt call, and that was basically all she had. So that rounds up our squat series. Okay, so let's take a look at the standings after squat, or our prognosis based on the squats. Both Annie and Clara, as you notice, both went 3 for 3. Outstanding there. Annie was able to secure the gold medal in the squat. Unfortunately, Marte only made 2 out of 3, but still she's she's pacing well. And based on forecasted total, she still forecasted in first at 515 kilos. But now we're going to get into the bench press. So Annie will open, Clara will follow, and then Marte will bring up the rear. So let's dive into the bench press action. Okay, our opening round of bench press sees Annie Nelson opening on 110 kilos. That is 242 pounds. believe this is just under Annie's PB, so she has made significant strides and progress since her last competition. Yep, and that looks like a solid opener, and that is 3 white whites and a good lift. Next up is Clara, Peyraud. And it looks like Clara is opening on 112.5 or 248 pounds. Nice wide grip, nice pause, and yep, that was fast. A little bit faster than Annie's, but a good solid opener there. And last but not least, we've got Marte Kjenner, and she looks to be opening on 120 kilos, so she has the biggest bench of the group. That's 264 pounds for her opening attempt. Marte does not take a lift off, does the self lift off, brings it down, nice pause, and a little sticky for an opener. That's a little slower than I personally would prefer as a coach, but nonetheless, the lights don't come up, but she did get 3 whites there. Annie comes out for her second attempt, taking a very small increase, the smallest increase you can take, up 2.5 from her opener to her second. So now she's on 112.5 or 248 pounds. Brings it down, pauses, and a solid second attempt. And based on the fact that she only jumped 2.5 from first to second, I suspect she'll do the same for the third. Clara is on her second attempt on 117.5 kilos or 259 pounds. Oh, and that looked nice and solid. A little slow at lockout on the right arm, but a good lift nonetheless. And now we've got Marte Kjenner coming out for her second attempt. And I believe this looks to be 125 kilos. 2 red plates. Oh no, she's got a chip on there, it looks like. And a slow lift, but she locks it out, and that's good. Good lift for her. Does get the lights. And now we've got Annie Nelson. Came back. Once again, small increase to 115 kilos or 253 pounds. Looking to go 3 for 3 and be a perfect 6 for 6 at subtotal. So Annie's getting locked in. Gets the lift off. Only a 5-pound jump from second to third. Good pause, little sticky. Oh, but that looks like a PB attempt. That's what a third attempt should look like, and good for her. Yeah, she seems to be excited. And now we've got Clara, who only jumped up 2.5 as well. So Clara, for her third attempt, is on 120 kilos or 264 pounds. She's got those deadlifter arms, but nonetheless, yep. And that's a good lift, even with the uneven lockout. 3 white lights, and good for her. All right, and now we've got Marte coming out, actually to increase her European record. The last one was 125.5 or 276 pounds. This is 128, so roughly 282 pounds. This is for a European record. So she has already secured the chip on her second and is utilizing the record chip once again on her third attempt. Does the self lift off, wide grip, brings it down, pause, and really strokes it there, and a good lift for Marte. 3 for 3 in the bench press, and a new European record. Okay, taking a look at our standings at Subtotal. These women were outstanding, making 17 out of 18 lifts in total. And we have Marte Kjenner in the lead only by 3 kilos at Subtotal, 318. Annie Nelson on her heels with 315. But don't forget the young junior from France, Clara Peyraud. She's only 12.5 kilos back, but she's got the biggest deadlift. So let's go ahead and take a look what the prognosis is going to look like after the opening deadlifts. Okay, we've seen the standings at Subtotal, but more importantly, we've got to see what things are going to look like in terms of forecast or prognosis after the opening deadlift. So we see that Marte is in first place at 318, but she's opening second in the deadlift. Annie is currently in second place with 315, but she's opening first. And Clara, while she's currently in third place, you can see after her opening deadlift at 215 kilos, if successful, she will move into a tie with Annie Nelson. But because she is lighter, she will be in second place. So this is going to get really exciting. Like I said, it is going to come down to the last deadlift to see which of these women can execute the best and secure the highest total. So let's dive into the deadlift action. Okay, so our opening round of deadlifts, we have Annie Nelson starting out with 202.5 kilos, 446 pounds. Nice to see the ladies doing conventional. I'm always a fan of that. She's got that round back style, which means it is going to explode off the floor and then get slower at the top. But that was lightning fast and a great opener. Likewise, we've got the Norwegian Marte Kjenner coming out. She is your leader currently. She is opening up at 205 kilos or 451 pounds. Likewise, she is a round back conventional deadlifter. She makes quick work of her opener. And last but not least, Clara, the deadlift demon, opening on 215 kilos or 474 pounds, which is just extraordinary for a junior. She is 21 years young, has a very bright future in this sport. Double overhand hook grip, high hip position, and yeah, easy opener, crushes that. Okay, all three ladies successful with their opening deadlifts. So let's take a look at the standings after openers. Okay, so as I said, because Clara secured her opening deadlift at 215 kilos, she moved into second place. She is currently tied with a 517.5 kilo total with Great Britain's Annie Nelson, but being lighter, she has moved into second place. Marte is still in first place with a slim lead at 523 kilos. But look how this is going to flip-flop, presumably, and move back and forth now as Annie and Annie and Clara are basically battling for that second place position. And so assuming that both of these women make their deadlifts, the forecasted placing is going to change. They are going to trade places. So let's dive back into the action and see how the second round of deadlifts go. Okay, in our second round of deadlifts, we have Annie Nelson of Great Britain coming back out, and she took a robust jump, 15 kilo jump, that's 33 pounds, to 217.5 or 479 pounds. So big jump, has that conventional round back thing going, and yeah, really solid second attempt for Annie. She crushes that, just a little bit slower at lockout, but looked good. Likewise, Marte took a 15 kilo jump. She is on 220 kilos or 485 pounds. She exhibits that similar conventional deadlift stance, round back style. It's going to come fast off the floor and then be a little bit slower once it gets above the knee at lockout. But that was a fast lockout too for her. So she's looking good going into thirds. So we've got Clara, who took a 12.5 kilo jump. She's at 227.5 kilos. This is just beneath her PB. This is a 501 pound deadlift for Clara. So let's see what she can do. And yeah, a little sticky at the top, but a successful deadlift, 3 white lights, and a good lift for Clara. Okay, let's dive into our interactive score sheet here, which is really critical, taking a look at the standings after the second round of deadlifts. So you notice all 3 of these ladies were successful in their first 2 deadlift attempts. So the current standings are, we've got Marte Kjenner currently sitting on a 538 kilo total, which puts her in first place. Annie Nelson is not far behind at 532.5, so she's in second place. And Clara of France, the junior, is currently on 530 kilos. So here's where the third deadlifts become absolutely critical and crucial, and the calculations become important. So Annie is, as you can see, 5.5 kilos behind Marte, sitting on a 532.5 kilo total. So she has to take 225 kilos, which will put her on 540 and temporarily put her in first place over this 538 kilo total. She can't take 222.5 because that would leave her at a 537.5 kilo total, which is already behind Marte. So the number that Annie has to take, she has to shoot her shot first, being the weakest deadlifter. So she has to go and just make sure that she makes her third attempt and put pressure on the rest of the field. And she's going to go ahead and choose 225 kilos, which is a solid third attempt for her. It's going to be a PB, and it's a 7.5 kilo increase from second to third. Marte, what she has to do, she has to assume that Annie is going to go ahead and make that lift. So assuming that Annie would make this lift, that would put her at 540 kilos. So Marte has to figure out a number that would put her above the 540 kilos. So she could go 222.5, right, which would secure her a 540 kilo total. 0.5, she would be 0.5 ahead. She doesn't need the chip, but she already has the chip. She doesn't necessarily need it because she's lighter than Annie, but she is going to settle for 225, which will put her forecast at 543 and continue to keep her in first place. Last but certainly not least, we've got Clara. Clara is going to pull last. She holds all the cards. She can change her deadlift attempt. She put in a placeholder and is going to bring it down to 237.5 kilos. And so what Clara is looking at is she's looking at, if I take 237.5, that is going to put me up from 530 to 540. And that is going to have her tie with Annie and win on bodyweight, or I should say take silver on bodyweight. If she wants to overtake Marte, assuming Marte makes this 225 and ends on 543, then Clara would need 240.5 kilos to go ahead and tie Marte and win on bodyweight. She is allowed to take that number. The current open world record deadlift held by Kimberly Walford in the 69 kilo class is 240. So that is a number that she could take, but she is going to settle for a junior deadlift record instead on 237.5, which, if she makes it, is going to go ahead and tie Annie, and she'll come in second. But enough of this. Let's go ahead and dive back into the action and see how the third round of deadlifts unfolds. Okay, beginning our third round of deadlifts, we have Great Britain's Annie Nelson coming out, looking to secure a 9-for-9 day, 225 kilos, 496 pounds to secure a humongous PB total for Annie. And yeah, that looks like an outstanding third attempt. She is thrilled, just over the moon, really excited. 2-to-1 decision and good lift for Annie. Now, we've got the front runner, Marte Kjenner, coming out for her final deadlift. She is also on 225 kilos or 496 pounds. This is going to put Marte at a 543 kilo total, which is not far off the open world record. She's having a great day. She's only missed one lift so far. trying to put the final nail in the coffin if she can. And stands up, and that's a good deadlift and good for Marte. She is finished with her competition, went 3 for 3 in the deadlift, really excited about that. And now we've got France's Clara Peyraud, who decided not to go for the win. She is going to go for second, 237.5 kilos, 523 pounds. That is a junior world record in the deadlift. Clara is 21 years young. This girl doesn't miss many lifts, coached by her brother, as I said, Nicolas Peyraud of the Strength Guys, and she is getting fired up for this final deadlift. Ostensibly, her coaches didn't think that she had an additional 3 kilos, but let's wait and see if they made the right decision. This will move her into second place. She will tie Annie Nelson and secure the silver medal on bodyweight. And it is up above her knees, and she is sticky, grinding at the lockout. And that looks like a good lift. She is really excited. Let's check out the replay coming up here in just a second. And you are going to see that is an absolute limit lift. That was a phenomenal call. I do not think she had 240.5, and she is your silver medalist. Okay, after a thrilling deadlift series, let's take a look at our final standings. And your 2023 European Classic champion in the 69 kilo class is Norway's Marte Kjenner with a 543 kilo total. She went 8 for 9, just exceptional lifting, and held off a charge from 2 incredibly strong women. What more can we say about these two ladies? Clara Peyraud of France, being the lightest lifter of the group, secured a 540 kilo total, going 9 for 9, as we suspected, pulling a junior world record of 237.5 on her final pull. And quite frankly, hindsight is always going to be 20/20, but when you're making these calculations and these decisions, like I said before, apparently her coaches didn't think that she had another 3 kilos. And we can go back and forth on the merits of that decision and whether or not we think she had it. And some people just kind of throw caution to the wind and, push all their chips to the center of the table. And I'll be honest with you, she could have gone for that. Worst case scenario, she would have been in third. So she would have lost out on silver and just taken the bronze. But I'll be quite honest with you, after watching that deadlift, I do not think that Clara had an extra 3 kilos, okay? That would have been an extra 6.5 pounds. That looked to be like an absolute limit deadlift for her, and a great attempt call on her third. I wouldn't second guess that for a second. She tied Annie Nelson and secured the silver medal. And last, only on bodyweight, Annie Nelson from Great Britain. What more can we say about Annie? Just tremendous progress since Malta. Man, she went 6 for 9 in Malta, came in 8th place, wasn't even in the conversation, built some momentum, and just showed up and showed out at Euros, going 9 for 9, hitting PBs in every single discipline, and adding an astonishing 33.5 kilos on her total since Malta. We should all be so lucky to go from June to December and add 33.5 kilos onto our total. So just an outstanding showing by Annie. She can't be upset with that and being, having to pull first. She just has to put a weight on the bar that temporarily puts her in first place and forces the other competitors to go out and make their lifts. And that's exactly what Annie did. And then credit to Marte and Clara for coming out and making their third pulls. So this was just an outstanding session. You can see the women went a collective 26 out of 27 attempts, or that's basically making 96% of your lifts. Marte had that lone miss, and it wasn't like she missed it on strength. It was just a depth call, and quite frankly, from the replays, I thought that it was actually good. So, but she did get 3 reds, and so you can't dispute that to the jury. But she sat on a 543 kilo total and is within striking distance of the world record total at 549 kilos, held by Leah Bavois. But I hope you enjoyed this analysis. This was a fantastic competition between 3 just extraordinarily strong women in the 69 kilo class. And I have every confidence that we will see these women back again in Lithuania this coming June for IPF Classic Worlds 2024. And these women can mix it up again. And it'll be really exciting. So hope you've enjoyed the analysis. Really appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, share the video, and as always, take a look at my game day coaching manual if you're interested in understanding how we do things game day coaching. But thank you again so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.